Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the K Dynasty, aka Dynasty 1031, bringing you guys a huge story slash campaign update for the upcoming Gears of War game, Gears of War Judgement. Many of these new details were leaked out to the public, and I'm sure many of you guys would want to know what it is, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys just what was leaked out. So let's get right to it. Gears of War Judgement is set 15 years before the original Gears of War. The characters are, in fact, 4 playable characters that were mentioned earlier, Baird, Cole, Sofia, and Garron. They make up Kilo Squad, and they're standing on trial for desertion, cowardice, trespassing, and theft of experimental military technology and treason. Thus, Kilo Squad is formed, and their missions begin, and that mission is to take the Locust Horde down. So, I guess, we kind of did see that coming. It does make sense considering the fact that Baird is, he's pretty smart when it comes in terms of technology, and he's always been like the go-to guy, so you can see where that would come in. As for the other things like trespassing and stuff, I'm not sure about that. Considering how early the game takes place during the Locust invasion, you'll be facing more Locusts than ever, making the small-scale battles from the original trilogy feel like a skirmish compared to what will occur in Judgement. The characters of Kilo Squad will narrate their version of their story while you relive their flashbacks. While the game is still put a focus on story, cinematics won't be used as often in Judgement as they were in Gears of War 3, which is pretty cool because, in my opinion, remember Gears 1 where you guys would play campaign, or Gears 2, and you'd have to sit there. If it wasn't a cutscene, it was the whole you had to hold on to like your face, the radio, and you couldn't move or you couldn't run. So, they're saying that it's going to be not a cinematic game. Instead, it's going to be free-flowing, which is pretty cool. So, I mean, we won't have to sit there and watch movies, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of what Gears of War was about here and there. So, I don't know. I'll keep reading, guys. Environmental storytelling will play a major role in Judgement. The invasion occurs just after the Pendulum Wars, so the citizens of Sarah were enjoying their celebrations, only to be interrupted by the Locust invasion. During the segment that Game Informer was shown, Kilo Squad is traveling through an area where a parade was occurring, celebrating the end of the war. Confetti and banners litter the streets and the buildings, along with destroyed floats lining the streets. So, in the next Game Informer, we're going to see things like this. So, it's going to be taken, like 15 years, before Gears 1, right after the Pendulum Wars. Everybody's celebrating, it's like the Saints won the Super Bowl, everybody was going crazy in Mardi Gras, New Orleans, excuse me. So it was, and it only makes sense, because right after that happened, Emergence Day happened, right after the Pendulum Wars. So, I mean, it does make sense. It's all free-flowing. The stories, so far, it seems pretty legit. You'll be happy to know, even though People Can Fly has taken the reins of development, the game won't be all that different from Gears of War games from the past. One of the biggest changes mentioned in the article is that the controls have been completely changed, removing the D-pad functions. You see, this is something I don't agree with. This is still a third-person shooter. If you've played many recent third-person shooters such as Ghost Recon, the control scheme is similar to that. The Y button will be used to switch weapons, and the LB button will be used to throw grenades. Right off the bat, I was shaking my head. I don't see why they would need to change the D-pad. I guess it's so it can feel as fresh as these modern third-person shooter games. But at the same time, it's taken away from the original Gears of War. It's already bad enough that it's not Epic Games. It's already weird enough that, the multiplayer is going to be changing. I'll talk about that in a completely different video. But I'll keep reading for you guys. Along with the controls being changed, the combat is returning back to where it started. Emergence holes will spring up out of the ground, unleashing Locust Hordes, and it will need to be closed by chunking a grenade inside. The AI will also be a heck of a lot smarter this time around. They will recognize your movements, positions, and the difficulty level will not only increase enemy health, but change the amount of Locusts that will take part in each battle. You Can Fly and Epic are also introducing a new smart response system called S3. This new system will look at how the level's being played, and if it's been played before, it will provide a new mix of where and how enemies spawn. The AI will adjust as well by taking into account the player movement position and the difficulty setting by sending enemies after players. This time, it won't affect the player and enemy health, but it will affect the amount of locusts that are sent into battle. So that's basically a rundown of the whole campaign slash story on Gears of War 3. I know it's really early and it's probably still in development. For the most part, I think this is how it's gonna lay out. So Monday, tomorrow, Gears of War 3 trailer will be released at E3. So let's hope that it's what we expect. I hope this game is really, really, down to what true Gears fans want to play. Changing the button layouts and stuff like that, I think will be not necessarily bad, but different. I don't think it's gonna kill the game either. So I think it's just a complete fresh start. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna have an update video on the multiplayer too. So drop a comment below if you guys want to see some more stuff like this, some more updates. So this is the K Dynasty, aka Dynasty 1031, saying you guys continue to have a great weekend, have a great Sunday, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.